All right, we're live. Welcome back, everyone, to our daily live feed. As you're getting logged on, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. And this evening, we have a weekend show wrap up tonight. And we're going to go into a little bit of the European ladies coming out full force. Welcome, you guys. And as we're getting logged on and getting started here, I'm going to pull the chat layout up. If you are on Instagram, we will be screen sharing over on YouTube. So feel free to go move over to YouTube if you like. What's up, Raven? If you are on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, get our algorithms working for us. And we have some fun stuff to talk about tonight. So again, as we're waiting for everyone to get logged on, our live stream tickets for Cuties Conquering the Stage are open and available now. So if you are on Instagram, it's in the link in our bio. If you are on YouTube, it's in the description box. Back to the grind. Yep. Yes, Carolyn just competed for the first time ever this past weekend. We did her hair and makeup for her this weekend. What's up, Brittany? And yeah, if you go to purchase your live stream ticket for Cuties Conquering the Stage, we have a bunch of super bonuses added on there too for different packages. So take a look at those. They are really, really good deals if it's something you plan on using next year. And we do have full price tickets available as well because we sold out of early bird tickets. So those are done. And we are moving forward with all of our fun planning for Cuties. So I'm excited about it. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Yeah, as you get on live on YouTube, make sure that you comment and say hello. We got our chat overlay up on there. We're going to take it off in a minute when we start screen sharing so you can see pictures and video. I got pictures and video from this past weekend. Hey, y'all, she's back, man. Everyone in happy peak week. Yes, happy peak week. Yes, there's a lot of you ladies are competing this weekend, actually. Come to YouTube in 5 seconds. I love it. Yeah, we'll definitely do a preview of this coming weekend too, tomorrow or Thursday. Yes, CCTS is always in January, always, every year. This is our 8th year. Yep. So it fluctuates between 2 different weekends, just depending on scheduling and venues and all that kind of stuff. Typically, we like to do it on Martin Luther King weekend because everybody has Monday off. So it's a good weekend to do it. All right, guys, we're going to get started here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the chat overlay, but continue to chat in because when you come back and watch the live stream replay on YouTube, all your comments are still there. I do go through and highlight some as we go along if you have questions and things like that. So yeah, if you can come in 2024, great. But like I said, we do have the live stream tickets available too. And the good thing about live stream, and this is also for people coming in person too, when you come in person, you'll have access to the videos afterwards, of course. But those of you that are coming on live stream, you have access to the videos. But it's an interactive live stream. So we're a little bit different than what you'd see for like a show or something like that, where you get to actually chat in. You can ask questions of the speakers while you're on the live. Yeah, Aurelia was on it last year. You know, a lot of the girls that were on the live stream actually talk amongst each other and create bonds just through the live feed. So it's kind of cool because you guys get to chat just like you're doing right now on YouTube. And you can chat in, and we have a commentary person on, which is typically one of our Fit Body Fusion sponsored people. You know, Ashlyn's done it in the past, Jamie's done it, that kind of thing too. So you just kind of take turns and ask and answer your questions, and also feed your questions to whoever's speaking and things like that too. So it is very interactive. Yeah. So, and the cool thing about it, and you know, it sucks if you can't be there live. It's nice if you can be there live because you get the full experience. But like I said, you can still watch the videos back after they're done. So you do have that option as well. Like I said, we have a few package deals available with the live stream too. Like you can get your, you know, the whole bundle of swag stuff too, if you'd like, and things like that. So take a look at that link. Okay. So we don't have a ton of photos and videos and things like that from this past weekend because most of the shows were not in the States. There was one show, and we didn't even preview this show because we didn't have a list, and there was only 6 girls in it. And that was the Ultimate Warriors Pro, which was for wellness. So I am going to pull that one up so that you can take a look at it. Let me screen share that. Here we go. So again, there's only 6 girls in this lineup, so it was not deep at all. And Renee Harshey did win this, which, you know, just looking at the list ahead of time, that's probably what you would assume she would win it. In the previous shows this year, she's been a little bit on the small side. So, you know, she's got a great shape, but I feel like she's still kind of teetering between the shape of a bikini girl, the shape of a wellness girl. I think she needs some more size for wellness personally. I mean, obviously she's doing well. She's qualifying for the Olympia, all of that. So I'm not saying anything negative. I just think she needs to add some more size overall. Let me pull up a picture. Pull up her, oops. Pull up her individual shots here. So very, very pretty look to her, which I really do like about that. She's got a very aesthetic physique, but you can see just looking at her, she's balanced from top to bottom. And as we know, wellness is supposed to be bigger on the bottom and smaller on top. So when I look at this, what I see is a larger bikini competitor, right? I see a larger bikini competitor. She still has the same shape as a like balanced physique, right? Let me see if I can find a back shot so I can pull that up for you. But she worked her angles correctly, and she won this show. So now she is qualified for the Olympia for this year. Can't believe we're still qualifying people for the Olympia. We've still got a few more weeks of qualifications for this year. But yeah, so she's definitely bigger than a bikini competitor. You know, by looking at this, you can see that she is bigger than a bikini competitor. But I still think she's just too balanced for wellness. You know, I'd like to see some more size in the lower half. Because she's got great shape and everything like that too. She just needs to fill out more, just more. Yeah, happy Tuesday, right? I know, I can't believe it's November, but with that said, we're still, like I said, we're still qualifying people for the Olympia right now for this year. So by the time we get to the Olympia, we're going to have a ton of girls in every division. So it's going to be an interesting, very long weekend. So that was the one like main pro show that we had here in the States. And so I wanted to bring up a few people to discuss them as far as winners and other shows. So this next girl that I'm showing, Elizaveta, I'm gonna share that right now. This is an old photo of her, from earlier this year, because we don't have pictures of her yet, but she won the Chiru this past weekend. We don't have photos from that particular show yet, but I just wanted to kind of show what she looked like and shout her out. This was May. This was May of this year. So she probably looked a little bit different in comparison to May, but probably not a whole lot. You know what I mean? So there's only a couple of photos of her here. But again, I really want to start kind of showcasing some of these girls that are coming in from other countries, like European countries and things like that too. We're going to get into that in a second. Because I think that they're really going to start shaking things up when we get to Olympia. So this girl won her Olympia qualification this weekend, not in this show, but in the Chiru, the India show. Let me show. Next girl. So the Valeria, she's from the Czech Republic. Beautiful girl. This is not the show that she won this show too. So this was actually the Warsaw Pro, which was a week ago. We didn't cover this show because we didn't have any pro lists or anything like that. So we didn't actually cover the show at all, but she won this show on last weekend or whatever it was, 2 weekends ago. So she did qualify for the Olympia here. She's a very, very tall girl. She's like 5'9", gorgeous. I'm going to pull up a couple of photos here from this show so you can see what she looks like. Again, this is Prague Pro. We don't have photos from Prague yet. So I can't show the Prague Pro shows, but she did win this show as well. So we can get a good idea of what she looks like. Now, this is a 5'9" frame. Okay. She's just under 5'9". So she is very tall. She's the same height as me. This is the same. She is my height right here. Okay, so she's a very tall girl, very well put together. I'm going to show a video that I pulled from her Instagram in just a second, so that you can see her whole shape and frame from the Prague show, because they did have video, in spite of the fact that they don't have photos up yet. Typically, the pictures from like the European shows and stuff like that are about a week behind. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so I'm kind of like, ooh, I hate that feeling. All right, so this was her back shot from that show. I actually believe that she improved her physique and posing from this show into Prague, and you're going to see that in a second when I show you her video. But again, this is a 5'9" frame. She's ridiculously well put together. Teeny tiny little waistline, like just beautiful aesthetics and flow to her shape. And she's a beautiful girl on top of that too. So let me pull up her video here that I pulled this from her Instagram. So let's go ahead and play that so you guys can see her. I don't know if there's any way for me to make that. No, that didn't work for me. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out if I can make this bigger, but I don't think I can. And I can't see otherwise if I don't. Anyways, so she's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. So, yeah, I've had a couple people message me because I shared her in my stories, and somebody's like, "What about her dangly jewelry?" Yes, I've had a few people mention that to me. Obviously, I would say no to that, right? But again, she's from Europe, and the standards in Europe are just a little bit different. Yeah, again, it's just the way it is. Like, they're coming from a different federation. They're coming from, yeah, when I did that, but what it does when I make it bigger like that is it actually I can't see my screen, so I can't see what you guys are saying to me, so I can't actually share full screen, or else I lose everything and I can't keep. It's the full screen, so there's like no in between. I wish there was like an in between where I could make her like part of the screen, but I just can't. I don't know how to do that exactly. I'm wondering if I can expand this a little bit, if that'll help. I think that helped a little bit just by expanding that window a little. I'm going to play it again for you guys so you can see it again. I'm wondering. I mean, I think that's pretty close. That's about as big as I can get it, I think, without blowing out my whole screen. Because I can't keep track of the feed if I can't see the screen. So, but anyway, so, yeah, her shoulders are crazy. And I'm actually going to share a girl that won in Baltimore as well. And that's the only thing I think the girl in the Baltimore show needs to work on is her shoulders. Her shoulders are ridiculous. Like, this frame is so aesthetically pleasing. Like, it really, really is. And she's a beautiful girl too. She sure does. I mean, every part of her is very well balanced. You know what I mean? Now, when she comes to the States, yes, she's going to have to get rid of the dangle jewelry. It is what it is, but that's just like, that's part of the European thing, right? So, oh, stop. Don't be, yeah, we're going to hide you because I don't like that. Don't be, I didn't mean to do that. What did I do? Hold on. There you go. Anyway, we don't talk negatively about competitors here on this particular live feed. All right. We keep criticism constructive. Okay. So she's going to have to be a little bit fuller probably when she comes to the States, and she's going to have to fix a few little presentation things like the dangle jewelry. But overall, her posing is gorgeous, right? Her posing is absolutely gorgeous. And this is what I'm saying, like, these European girls are catching up to the US standards. Her frame, her shape, her look, everything is really, 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 really good, right? So, you know, when she comes here to the States, again, from the back, I think she's good. I think she's going to probably need to fill out a little bit, though. She's a little lean. But this could also be the lighting here. So we'll see. We'll see when she comes over here and actually is next to everybody else here in the States, right? But that's, I mean, these European girls are getting better and better and better, you guys. They're getting so good because they're getting more shows. So they're getting more opportunity to get in front of US judges, right? US judges are going over there and judging these shows. So the competition is getting better and better. I've mentioned this as we were talking through the year. You know, we're going to have to start paying attention to these European girls a whole lot more because their standards are catching up to the standards and the criteria here in the States, right? She does. She looks amazing. And like there was a lot of girls in this show that looked amazing as well. You know what I mean? Like it used to be a pretty significant difference between, you could tell which girls were, you know, the US girls and which girls were from other countries because of the standards and the criteria being different. But we're getting to the point now where these European girls are getting very, very close to the current US standards, right? So she looks incredible, and I'm excited to see what she looks like when she gets over here to the States. Because again, she's one of these girls, she's a little bit taller than Janet. She's a little bit taller than Laura Lee, but she carries just as much muscle. So if she gets on stage and she has that wow factor at the Olympia, she could be one that makes some noise. I mean, y'all got to be careful with girls like this. They're going to come out of nowhere, right? I think she's done like 2 shows and won both of them, right? So these girls are coming up. These girls are coming up. Now I wanted to share, let's see what we got here. This girl right here. So these are the only photos that we have of Maria. And this is from when Maria won her pro card in Brazil in 2019. Maria, and I'm going to show her on video in just a minute, is the one that I mentioned in my stories that is 42 years old, that won the 35 and over and the 40 and over here in Baltimore. Okay. So this is what she looked like when she won her pro card. This was a small show in Brazil. There was like 5 girls in her class. So it wasn't a big show, but she won by winning her class, and you know she won her pro card here at this show. But I wanted to show you her photos because I'm going to show you her video in just a minute from this past weekend, so you can see how much she's changed in the last 2 years. I mean, even here you can see she has a really good frame. She just needs some depth, and she needs some posing tweaks and things like that, right? This was 2019. So just wait until I show you what she's done since 2019. Okay, so let me get a couple of, there we go. There's her front pose, so you guys can see that. And now, let me pull up video from this weekend. This girl, as soon as she walked on stage, we were all like, oh, damn. Like, oh, damn. It's her right here in this pink. Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and play this. This is the 35 and over from this past weekend. Now, in this particular class, the only one that did not compete in the 40 and over and just the 35 and over was this one right here. Everybody else was in the 40 and over as well. So like we've talked about before, sorry, it's kind of stopping for a second. So like we've talked about before, I really don't think that there's a whole lot of difference between 35 to 40, meaning I don't think that masters should really start until you're in your 40s. And this is why all these ladies are in their 40s anyway, except for this girl right here who did the 35 and over. So I wonder if I can make it a little bigger. No, it's not really making it much bigger. But watch when she turns to the back. I mean, she's gorgeous, and she has a beautiful frame too. Again, really tall girl. You can see that here. I think she's 5'10", even taller than the last girl we talked about. And she did win both 35 and over and 40 and over. And what I would say with her, what she needs to do in comparison to the other girl that we were just looking at, is she needs some more shoulders up here. I think her lower body's good. I wouldn't change anything about her lower body. I would just fill her shoulders out a little bit more. But she's 42 years old. I saw her backstage. She doesn't speak a whole lot of English from what I gathered, because I tried to talk to her a little bit. She's from Brazil. So again, not European, but she is Brazilian. I'll go ahead and play it again while we're talking. And she told me she's 42. So this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. There is a specific look that we're going for. And I believe that she can still be very competitive in the open at 42 years old. So, I mean, she won these 2 classes hands down. Like there was nothing, not even close. So I really believe that she could do well in the open category as well. I don't know what her feedback was from the judges or anything like that. I have no idea. But if I was her, I would absolutely give myself a shot in the open. Yeah, she's 42. Exactly. It is incredible. And you can see it. Like I was saying before, there's a difference. Like she's still really nice and tight through the glutes and through the skin on her legs and everything like that. There's a difference. We were talking about this last time where you can see when girls start hitting the master's look. Well, she does not have a master's look at all. She's very well balanced. Again, she can probably use a little bit more shoulders, but she's a beautiful, beautiful woman, right? So in this scenario, if I was in her camp, my advice to her would be to be going into open shows and not masters shows, right? Because I think she can be competitive. And I do think that a lot of girls that are taller are starting to get rewarded more in bikini. And a lot of this, I think, has to do with the inception of wellness as well, right? So wellness tends to be a little bit more forgiving towards, shorter girls just because of the way that the structure of the body is. Whereas with bikini, those longer lines are more along the bikini aesthetic. So, I think that we're seeing this kind of shift in the looks. Like when we look at, our top 5 at the Olympia, it's rare that we see really short girls in that top 5. Maureen was this past year and she likely will be again, but she was the only one that was short. Everybody else was like 5'5" at least. And like Laura Lee is 5'8", Janet's 5'8". When Edela was competing, she's also 5'8". So all of these longer lines are getting more and more rewarded. Now, there's a plus and minus with being tall and with being short. As you guys know, I mean, everybody's got their cross to bear and their thing that they have to do in order to become better. You know what I mean? So as a tall girl, it's really, really hard to fill out the whole frame. I know from experience, right? So it's more difficult to fill out a taller frame with muscle that's round and full. But it's really beautiful once it's there. Jordan's another one. She's 5'7". She's another one that's very tall. Somebody else put in some other names for tall girls that could be potentially problems at the Olympia. Erin Stern. Erin Stern is 5'8", I believe. She might be 5'9". I think she's 5'8", pretty sure. But then you look at the girls that are all doing well in wellness. It's very rare that you see anybody over the height of like 5'5". Most of them are 5'5" or below, right? Yep, Phoebe. Phoebe is 5'9". There's a lot of tall girls. And so we're going to see, I think we're seeing this shift happen this year just because we're seeing the longer lines being more bikini and the shorter lines being more wellness, right? Now, this is an in general statement. As we all know, this is a very individual sport. So just because you're short doesn't mean you should go to wellness, right? That's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is that for a very long time, tall girls were very hard to reward in this sport, period. You look at men's bodybuilding, most men's bodybuilders are under 6 foot. And there's a reason, because they got to fill that frame out, right? I'm trying to be a swole giraffe for years. Yes, it's a struggle. It is a struggle. And, Anne-Marie Lawrence is another one. I think she's 5'10". I think she's 5'10". There's a lot of tall girls, and it's hard to keep that frame filled out. You shrivel away real quick. Trust me, I know. I can get thin real fast. It's hard to get thick for me. And I see that happen a lot for tall girls. It's really difficult to be able to stand up next to girls that are half our size and still look as full and round and bubbly, right? So this kind of covers, 3 sort of topics right here that we're talking about now, which is I think we got to really be paying attention to a lot of these girls that are coming in from like European countries and Brazil and things like that. Brazil is a thing for wellness, but it's going to be for bikini as well. It's going to be because across the board, when we're looking at how big this sport has gotten, it is worldwide now. There was just a pro qualifier in India, and there's going to be girls coming out of India that we're going to have to look at. The Asian countries are all doing a lot of shows now too. So this sport is going to get more and more and more competitive very fast. You know, what kind of slowed it down for a couple of years was the whole pandemic situation where people weren't able to travel as much. Well, that's being relieved now, right? And people are able to travel here to the States. They're able to travel elsewhere in order to compete. We're going to start seeing more and more quality competitors from around the world. Okay, so that's the first piece of this wrap up this weekend. Second piece is what I mentioned before about the difference between a Masters athlete and an Open athlete. And to me, it's not even the age, it's the look, right? If you don't have the look of a Masters athlete, I think you can still be competitive in the Open. You know, like the girl we were just talking about, Maria from Brazil, she's 42 years old. She looks like she's in her late 20s, you know, and even when you see her backstage, like up close and in person, she looks that way too. She does not look like she's in her 40s, right? So Jennifer's on here right now. She's one that I told her she does not look like a Masters competitor, so don't do Masters. You know, you can still be competitive in the Open as long as you got the look, right? Full round muscle, nice firm skin, all those kinds of things that we're looking for. And those are all things, thankfully, with modern technology that can be helped. Skin care, things like that can all be helped nowadays, which is great. You know, like I've said before, just taking care of your skin is a big deal. So making sure that you're taking care of your skin through collagen and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, lots of water, lots of vitamins, lots of nutrients, all those kinds of things make a big difference on your skin. That, and then the third piece of that is that now we're seeing longer, taller physiques getting more rewarded, which I've always paid attention to that. Obviously, being a girl that's tall, I have always paid attention to that aspect of it, and it hasn't shown up as much as it has in the last, you know, year and a half, where we're seeing longer physiques really getting rewarded a lot more. And I think it's like we're seeing better quality competitors all the way around anyway. But again, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that now that we have wellness, the shorter girls that do tend to be a little bit fuller in the lower half are now moving to wellness versus staying in bikini, right? So we're seeing more of those long physiques getting rewarded, which I think is gorgeous. I think that I love those lines. Those girls are freaking beautiful, man. They're like Jennifer was saying, she's got a sheesh. Like, you just can't not look at girls like that. You know what I mean? Beautiful. So there wasn't a whole lot of surprises or anything like that this weekend, because again, we didn't have a lot of coverage because most of the stuff happened overseas. And the two shows that were here in the States, we had the Masters Pro Show, which was awesome. Had a great time there. The girls all did fantastic. And then we had the wellness show that was that 6 competitors deep. So this coming weekend, there's a bunch more shows. So we will definitely preview. We'll do that on Thursday. So it gives it a couple days for the pro list to be updated and make sure that we got a full pro list as close as we can be to full. So we can go ahead and preview those. But as we're sitting here and as we just discussed these 3 different topics, these 3 different points that I wanted to bring up tonight, any questions that you guys have, I want to leave it open. I always want to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about these particular looks, what I mean by what I'm saying, all those kinds of things. I'll just give it a minute for you guys to ask. But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting Olympia, I think. We're going to start getting into previewing Olympia lineups and stuff like that too pretty soon, because we're getting close to the end of the qualification series. Finally, we're almost at the end of the qualification series. We've had an extra almost 3 months of qualifying athletes this year. So typically the qualification series ends in August, and here we are going into November. So we still have 3 more weeks, 2 more weeks. How many more weeks? It goes till the 19th, I think, to qualify. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got 3 more weeks. 3 more weeks for girls to qualify this year. So this is going to be interesting for this year, you guys, because we have 3 more weeks to qualify for this year. And then we got nothing to qualify for next year until we get into next year, right? There may be like 1 show, maybe, after the qualification series cuts off for next year. So next year is going to be like, this year was like the easiest year to qualify for the Olympia, right? Next year is going to be the hardest year because it's going to be short. It's going to start in the end of November, and then the Olympia is going to be in November again next year. So It's going to end in October. So whereas this year we've had, 13, 14 months, whatever it is, 15 months to qualify, whatever it is, it's 15, 16 months to qualify. Next year, it's going to be less than a year. So, the last qualifying weekend is the 19th. So whatever shows are on the 19th, that's the last weekend to qualify for this year. So, and then we roll right into the Olympia. I mean, we've got like 2 weeks before the Olympia starts. So the Olympia is December 15th is technically when it starts. So yeah, we've got 3 weeks before the Olympia actually starts. So yeah, which is normal. Like that's normal. Usually what they do is it's about a month or so. So typically what it is like Tampa is usually the last qualifying weekend. And then the Olympia is in September, and it's always September like 20th weekend because that's my birthday. So it always used to be at my birthday, which was always a lot of fun to spend my birthday in Vegas, all that kind of stuff. Not so much anymore, but whatever is what it is. For those qualifying on points, how many on the list get added to the 3? Top 3 in points. Top 3 in points get added. So, Virgo Nation, right? So yeah, it's going to be a points fight all the way down to the end. It's going to be a points fight all the way down to the end because there's several girls that are in that game right now. Jody Junker will qualify. She's on the top of the list, and then the other 2, it's a question of who gets the most points. So we won't know for another couple weeks. It's top 3. So, anyways, any other questions? Any other questions? Like I said, we will preview this coming weekend on Thursday. We'll do another live feed tomorrow night, but it'll be a teaching live feed tomorrow night. It just depends when it comes to when they actually do the Olympia. It has to do with when they actually get the venues and things like that. So I do know that next year it's going to be back in Orlando, and it's going to be in November. I don't know beyond that. What they're going to do. But I do know that much. So a lot of it just has to do with how they work their own marketing and their own venues and all their own stuff out. So it used to be that the Olympia traveled all over the place. It was never like the Olympia was never set in one spot for a very long time. And then it got kind of set in Vegas. And then at that point, COVID hit, and then they had to move it for obvious reasons. And now it's kind of up in the air. So we'll see what happens. So Lana's still on the points search. So I don't know what you mean by what happened with her, but she's still in the points fight. She's not in the Olympia yet. She didn't win a show. The only way you automatically qualify is by winning. So I'm assuming they're moving it from Vegas because it was easier and more accessible, competitor friendly in Orlando. I liked it better in Orlando personally. Vegas is Vegas, right? Vegas is fun. It's a great place to go for a vacation and things like that. But when we're talking about competitor friendly, oh my gosh, Orlando was so easy because the hotel and the venue and everything was all connected. So, it was just so easy that way. And I'm assuming it's also cheaper. I'm assuming it's also a lot cheaper for Orlando. And personally, being an East Coast person, I would rather go to Orlando than Vegas and have to do the 5-hour flight versus the 2-hour flight. You know what I mean? So it's just better for I think in general, just for travel in general, I think Orlando is better. Vegas is cool and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's got its wow factor in Vegas, but I think people that are going to the Olympia are going for the competitors and are going for the Olympia. They're not going for the actual city that it's in. You know what I mean? Like I'm there for the Olympia. I'm not there to go to clubs and stuff like that. Now I'll go out and have fun. You know what I mean? But I don't need that part of it. That's not what I'm going for. So, I think that in general, Orlando is probably just a little bit more travel friendly, right? It's a little bit more easily accessible. It's cheaper, all those things, right? Yeah, Vegas flights. Vegas flights aren't terrible. Like flight costs right now are way better than what they were over the summer. Let me just say that much. And I live in the DC area, so I have 3 airports to choose from. So I have a lot of options, right? So I typically fly out of Reagan because it tends to be the best flights, most direct flights, those kinds of things. But even going out of DC area, it's easier to go to Orlando for obvious reasons. You know what I mean? So I'm lucky that I have a lot of options, but I know that some other people are having a hard time just because flying into Vegas it is expensive, But yeah, I personally, like, I've been to the Olympia forever, since I started in this industry. I go every single year. And again, I don't care about the Vegas aspect of it. I mean, it's cool, but I also on that note too, I used to live there. I used to live in Vegas. So for me, it's not like, I don't know, I guess it's not that same thing as everybody else. When I tell people, I'm like, I don't know. I've gone on vacation there ever since I've left. I've gone probably once a year ever since I left, except for this last couple of years because of COVID and all that. But I don't know. It just doesn't have that same kind of allure as it might for somebody else who never lived there. I don't know. I'm there for the show. I'm there for the athletes. I'm there for my people. That's what I'm there for. I'm not there to go party. So that's me. I'm like, give me easy, and I'll take that any day of the week, right? I'll take that any day of the week. Any other questions, you guys? I know this is a little different with our wrap up this time, just because we don't have pictures, we don't have videos. So I went and kind of searched through some old pictures for some of our winners. And it's probably going to be similar this weekend. We've got the Spain show this weekend. There's a few shows here in the States though. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few months here. So, and we should start seeing the lists for next year coming out relatively soon too. So typically what happens is they have like a promoters meeting at Nationals, and then the list comes out right after that. And Nationals is usually in November, but because of everything being all over the place this year, again, Nationals is in December. So I'm guessing they're going to start putting the list out and stuff for next year prior to Nationals this year. So I'm guessing we're probably going to see that happen sometime this month. And then we'll know a little bit better about what's going to be happening next year. But as we know, they continue to add pro shows as they go throughout the year and things like that. And then obviously whenever they have a pro show, they'll be adding an amateur show onto it as well. So okay, so that's it for tonight. So tomorrow night we will be on with another teaching live. And like I tell you guys all the time, if you have a specific topic that you would like me to cover, comment it in, send it in. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, but I like to get your ideas and I like to get your thoughts, and I like to talk about the stuff that you guys are interested in. I mean, that's how we came up with all of our content that we're going to be teaching and training at Cuties Conquering the Stage this year. We have some incredible content set up for you guys this year. Incredible stuff that you're going to be able to learn and take and apply. So I'm really excited about that. And like I said, if you're not coming in person, live stream tickets are now available. And until tonight, we have extra special super bonuses available that you can purchase. So if you haven't looked on the link, check it out, because we have several different packages available that might tickle your fancy, right? Beyond just the live stream itself. And then also, like I said, our live stream is different than most. It is an interactive live stream. So when you're on that live, you will be able to actually chat in and talk to the people that are presenting and to the people that are on hosting our live stream too. So it's a fun time for you guys too. You get to bond with each other as well. You get to go into the Facebook group with the girls, all those kinds of things. And that's how a lot of people will kind of introduce themselves to our brand and what we do as well. So they'll come in, they'll do the live stream, and then they'll come in person the following year. We have a lot of girls doing that this year that were on the live stream last year. So it gives you an opportunity to see what it's all about, right? So that link is in my bio on Instagram, and it is in my description box here on YouTube. Okay. We will be back on again tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all back here at 8:15. I'll have another fun topic for you guys ready to go. And then we will preview this weekend's coming shows on Thursday. Okay. And beyond that, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. And as always, we do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. All right, you guys, have a great evening. I'm going to go ahead and log off of Instagram first, and then we'll log off of YouTube. Good night.